they had at Little Creek for years. The folks met out on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and they started meeting out on Tuesday. Well, those 2 days, uh, the old preacher, Brother Robert Randolph, and his wife, they were both feeble, and they weren't able to get out. And the Lord let me know. He said, "Get your groceries, whatever you need. Go cook dinner for those folks on Tuesdays and on Thursdays." And that's what I did, 2 days a week for a long time. And well, they had this daughter, Liller, they called her, and she had a sort of a mental problem. But she went to church, and she had 2 boys, and her and her husband they didn't live together, and she was back home with her dad and mom, and her 2 boys, one was a Free Will Baptist preacher, the other one was a missionary Baptist preacher. And later on, the one that was a free will, he went over to the missionaries too. And I mean, you don't have to worry if you belong to the Missionary Baptist Church. They say if you've ever been saved, you can't be lost, you know. And of course, I know better than that.
Yeah.
So I went on Tuesday, and their kitchen was downstairs. Their living room and bedroom were upstairs, and their kitchen was downstairs. So I would be down there cooking dinner, and this daughter of theirs, she was so nervous, but she would just kind of go along at my heels, and she'd do her fingers like this, and she just follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the Lord, he just gave me so much love and care for that little woman, and it didn't bother me a bit. Maybe other times it might have to have somebody, you know, just that close, walking right behind you and talking, and it didn't bother me a bit. And she would just want to hug my neck, and she'd say, "Betty, you're so good to us. I love you so much." Well, I said, "I love you too, Littler," and I tried to show her that I did. Well, so one of the sisters at church, she hurt me. I had confidence in her. I loved her. And she said, "Betty," she said, "if I was you, I wouldn't go down there and cook up so much stuff." She said, "Lil, their daughter, said she just goes downstairs and eats it." Well, I was shocked. I said, "Well," I said, "that's why I cook it." I said, "I cook it for her as well as I do her mom and dad." I said, "She needs to eat too." But that kind of threw me for a loop, you know, that they would say I wouldn't do that because she goes down and eats it.
Yeah.
And but I kept doing that, and there came a time when my phone rang, and one of the sisters from church said, "Betty," said, "Liller, they found her in the river, and she's drowned. She's dead." And said her mother said she's just moaning and groaning and begging for Betty. Said she wants Betty. Well, it was about 50 miles over there, from where I live. And said she's begging for you. I said, "I'll be there. For the help of the Lord, I'll be there." Well, Cecil had taken the car to work that morning, and I had a load of feed on the back of the pickup. So they were working in Johnson City, so I just took the pickup and with its load and left it with Cecil, and I got the car. I went to the grocery store and I bought quite a bit of stuff, and like paper plates and cups and foods to fix for I knew people would be coming in. And I went in, and they were just so pitiful. They were so mourning, and they needed comfort and help. Well, I stayed, and so Cecil on Saturday. This was on Saturday night. Cecil and all the children came over, and we all spent the night, and we slept on one bed. We slept crossways on, on one bed. Well, next morning, Cecil and the boys, they went on to Little Creek, I guess. And I was going to go to Coffee Ridge and then come back. And I got ready, and I picked up my purse. And I said, "Aunt Joanna," I said, "I'll see you in a little bit, the Lord's will." I said, "I'm going to Coffee Ridge for service."
This is a tea table strawberry. That's a time.
She looked up and she said, "Why?" In just a stern voice, she said, "Why, you ain't a gonna leave me."
Oh.
And I put my purse down. I said, "No." So I just stayed there with them, and I went on in the kitchen, and I cooked and prepared for folks that would be coming in and visiting. I stayed with her till it was all over, and I thought, we went to church on Monday morning after that, and the folks was talking about Liller, and they would they'd say, "Bless her heart, she did this," and she was good in a lot of ways, and just saying a lot of good things about her because she was gone. And me, motor mouth or whatever, I said, "I suppose that Liller would have loved her to have heard a lot of these things you're saying today." I said it would have meant a lot to her if she could have heard it in her lifetime. Well, I'm not noted for being mealy mouthed, I guess. I hope I don't say things out of the will of the Lord. But it just, it just didn't sit right with me that they'd been against her while she lived, and after she passed away, then tried to find something good to say about it. And
Yeah.
well, these same people, their son, he went to church at Marion, and he lived at Marion, and so the time came that they decided they wanted somebody else for their preacher. And they worked behind my back. And this one Sunday, this one man, he got up and he said, we've heard about enough of all this stuff, whatever he was talking about. He said, next week, Brother so-and-so is going to be here to take over the church 24/7. And,
Mom, I have a question.
well,
Can I go outside? They hadn't left. He hadn't left quite yet.
Just for a minute. Okay.
She's not here.
that was just the same as booting me out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried and I cried and I cried. And one of the things that hurt me the worst was this one woman. She and I had been so close friends, stayed in each other's homes, and just be. And she was in the ones that were kind of working against me. That's what hurt me so bad. But anyway, I couldn't go back. The Lord wouldn't let me go back to Marion. And different ones, they would call when they saw what had gone on, and they saw that it really wasn't working out. And this one woman, she'd call me. Sometimes she'd call me at night and begging and wanting me to come back over and over and over. And one night I just almost went to sleep on her talking. But I said, I can't. I said, I called her name. I said, I can't. I said, unless the Lord would say for me to go, I said, I'd be afraid. I said, I can't. I said, the Lord has let me know that I can't go back like it is. And so the people that I'd been going over cooking for, their son, he was the one that got up and made the speech. Well, he came one day to his mom and dad's, and he was begging me to come back to church, to Marion. Come back and take the church back. And he just walked around. He just paced, begging me. He said, Betty, they used me. He said, I didn't realize what was going on. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay.
I said, he said, they used me. He said, I didn't realize what was going on. And he said, we want you to come back. I said, I can't. I said, like Balaam was in the Bible. I said, if you offered me a house full of gold, I said, I can't go back. I said, unless the Lord would let me. And I couldn't for a long time, till the time came, the Lord said, there'd been some deaths and so on. And the people that stood up and said everybody that wants brother so and so to come 24/7, stand to your feet. Well, as far as I know, about everybody stood to their feet. And but finally, the Lord let me go back. And Harvey, he got up and he said, folks, he said, the Lord sent Sister Betty back. He said, if she ever leaves again, I want it to be because the Lord sent her, not because we did. I think Kay might have been about the only one that didn't stand up. Kay, she tried to hold the church together. She did a good job. I don't know now. Cecil's brother Jack, he's there preaching now, and they talk like it's going pretty good, and I hope it is.
I didn't realize that was Cecil's brother.
Do
I didn't realize Jack was Cecil's brother.
Yeah,
That's neat.
yeah. He had two brothers that passed away before he did. The oldest brother, Junior, they call him.